What's going on, everybody? And welcome to Legacy's Journey, where we talk about creating what outlives you. I'm your host, Cameron Williams, owner of Kinley Consulting, where we focus on strategic financial growth for marketing agencies so that they can live the dream life they deserve and not be a slave to their business. And of course, we do that through CFO and consulting services. Now, this is season two. This is all about the road to $1 million agency. And so, I had to put out some feelers. I had to ask people, like, you're a good person. That means you know good people. Tell me who I should connect with. And so, I had to dig deep. I had to tap into the resources. And, I don't even remember who connected us, but somebody threw out the name Kristina Peck. So I'm like, all right, let me check her out. We had a super short conversation. I'm like, let's get on here and let's rock it. So I try not to ask too much about the guest prior to coming on the show. That way, it's a more authentic conversation I can discover when you guys discover. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kristina Peck is here.
Hey, hey, thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, let's jump into it because I'm interested in finding out how you help the people. So tell them name of company, how long you've been into it, a little bit about what you do, and then we're jumping into the good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So I am Kristina Peck, CEO and founder of the KP Collective. We are located in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we help B2B organizations elevate their profitability through targeted, done for you brand narratives. I've been doing this, this is going into my fourth year now. Um,
Okay.
And I am super excited to kind of share my, I guess you could say, secret sauce um, as to how I've gotten this far, share my failures. It hasn't been, all sunshine and roses to get to this point. But yeah, I'm excited to be here.
All right. So now notice she said 4 years. She's talking about branding. So that's excellent. So let's talk about it. So 4 years, ironically, the digital landscape has changed a lot. It's not like, oh, we've been doing the same thing. Like, no, I think that would include what COVID has happened since then. So how things were prior to COVID is a lot different now. A lot of companies jumped online, tried to improve their branding. So let's jump into that. Now, the type of clients you work with, tell us about, in general, who they look like, and then we'll go into why I'm asking that.
Yeah. So I work with primarily women owned businesses. They are the type of women who just have too much on their plate. It's not that they're
Okay.
not smart enough to do their own marketing or put their own branding together. They're just too busy. They're doing everything else. They've got their zone of genius put together, and they come to me and they're like, "You know what? I don't have enough hours in the day. I cannot be superwoman. I can't do this anymore." And that's where we come in because we are done for you. So we want you to focus on your zone of genius, and you go to that spa trip that you've been talking about since 2021, and we're going to take over all of your marketing, all of your branding, so then you can really just focus on what you're good at and what you were put on this earth to do.
Okay, so let's go there. Now, one of the things, because we've seen this some, right, where some people say, hey, like, I'm women only focused. So,
Mhm.
from a branding perspective, I'm sure you know this, like saying, excuse me, whoa, saying that I only work with women, you have to know that, okay, if I do that, then that may shrink the amount of income I can make because, okay, I'm not working with guys and girls. So, from a branding perspective, tell us about why is it important to be that specific in who your ICA is?
Yeah, it definitely does shrink, the amount of money that's coming in, but you have to work with people that you resonate with or people that you click with, people that you feel like you are in with for the long haul. Like, don't work with people just for the money. And I feel like
Okay.
that's what a lot of people do. They just see dollar signs. And that's why they're afraid to really shrink down their market. I work with women because that's who I feel like I click with. That's who I feel like I can offer my best self to. That's not saying, that I hate men or anything like that. Because if I did, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Right.
um, But it's really important to find out who you and your services are best aligned for. Otherwise, the work and the deliverables, you and I are both having issues today talking.
Yeah, it's nasty,
It
nasty.
is something. Um,
Mm-mm.
Otherwise, your deliverables are going to suffer. Your clients aren't going to be happy. And it's just going to be a vicious cycle. So don't be afraid to really close in on a niche or a circle, whether it's women, whether it's men, whether it's minorities, whatever that might be, or whatever it might look like for you. Really hone in on it. There's no shame in it. And don't think about the money. You aren't losing money, you are gaining money. Think of it in that aspect. You're going to gain money because the deliverables that you put out are going to be the bomb.com.
Okay, now let's go right there because we're gonna talk about the money. Now, statistics say, which I was super shocked to learn this last year, that in general, super general, that women business owners tend to not make as much money as males. Now, me personally, I don't get
Mhm.
that because I personally feel like, girls rule the world. I had a mom, my grandparents, I love them. Of course, I'm married, got two girls. I don't get how this works, but the statistics say that in general, women tend to not make as much. So, in knowing that, how do we still lock into a niche where we know it may not be as profitable? Because that's a universal thing. Like some people may say, "Oh, I want to work with churches." Well, we know that churches don't have the biggest budgets. Or I may want to work with gyms or whatever that case is. So, how would you encourage or instruct another business owner to look at it in the right frame of mind, even though the earning potential maybe per client may not be as high?
That's a great question. And I think it has a lot to do with us changing the narrative. Um, and that started with me. I never thought of women making less money. And I think, I came from a household where my mom was the breadwinner. Like, not saying that, my dad didn't work and he didn't make money, but my mom has an MBA. She has her master's. She made a six-figure salary. She was never, ever, ever intimidated by anybody that she ever came across. She's just a very strong willed woman. And she always told me, when you walk into a room, you stand tall, you speak loud, and you let people know that you are in the room. And I kind of carried that into my business. And I think as a
Shout out to
business,
moms.
right? And I think as a business owner, that has to be your job to carry into your clients. Yeah, sure, the statistics might say one thing, but now it's our job to change that narrative. And I tell my clients the same thing. I don't care what the statistics say. I'm here to change that for you. You don't have to be a statistic. You don't have to be a number. I blew that statistic out of the water, and I'm here to do the same for you.
Let's go. Okay, I love that. All right, now let's go into that. So you come to, let's say, some ladies doing, I don't know, I'm trying to make up a random client. Let's just say they are a lady company, they are doing coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I just hit my first $150,000 last year, but girl, it was a struggle. I heard, you and the collective, y'all killing it over there. I need you to do whatever you doing for me. Now, they're coming to you saying that. What is your plan of attack? Because again, like you said, okay, I'm women focused. I know how to amplify a female voice, make it stronger, more powerful, more bold. So your plan of attack going in when they're coming to you asking for help is what?
So what we do, we have an innovative four-phase process. So anybody that comes to the agency, you sit down with me one-on-one and we do a 3-hour deep dive into your brand. So I am all up in your business. I want to see what you've been doing, what you haven't been doing. And we put together what we call a marketing playbook. So that outlines all the recommendations that we have for you. We call you out on everything that you haven't been doing. We put together a full content strategy for you. We put together your buyer persona, who you should be talking to, how you should be talking nice to them. We put together your content pillars, literally a step by step roadmap, whole marketing strategy, your brand tone, your brand mission, your brand voice, and we wrap it all up. And then you get the choice. Okay, are you going to run with this? Are you going to implement it yourself? Are you a doer? Are you going to do this yourself? Or are you going to say, hey, I need to go into phase two because look, I got a vacation plan. Let's be honest, KP, I ain't gonna do this myself. And that's what most of our clients say. Like, this ain't me, this ain't my thing. And then you can go on retainer with us at the collective. Phase 3 and 4 is about getting onboarded. We celebrate you, we pop some bubbly, that kind of thing. And then we take over for you.
Okay, let's stay right there. Now, you said that amplifying your brand voice. Now, how, because in terms of finance, right,
Mm-hmm.
you're taking this piece of clay and you're molding it into something greater. How have you seen, on average, your work amplify the brand voices and turn it into money? Is this just one of those, and I'm going somewhere with this because I know everybody doesn't know, so I'm trying to be fair. Have you found, or let me ask it this way, what are the statistics on average when somebody comes and work with the collective? Your brand getting amplified the right way can look like an increase of, on average, fill in the blank money. And how do they then turn around and use that to continue to grow?
Yeah, so on average, our brands see a 34% increase in revenue, which some people will look at me and say, well, I want 100% increase. I want 50% increase. But if you look at 34% on
Hmm.
$150,000, that is a huge amount of money. And
Let me see.
we also look at time. We tell people you save an average between 10 to 15 hours a week when you hand over your marketing to us. 10 to 15 hours a week. So now let's say you're charging an average of $150 an hour. I'm no math whiz, so if you want to write this down, pull up your calculator. That's
I
how
got
many
you.
hours a month?
So
3,000,
150 times 15, 2,250
and then times 4,
times 4, 9,000.
that's $9,000 a month worth of time that you are saving yourself by having somebody else do the marketing for you. And that's if your hourly rate's only $150 an hour. There's some clients that come to me and their hourly rate's $375 an hour.
Okay. Ooh, 375 times 15 times 4, $22,500.
So if you're doing this yourself and you're spending 10 to 15 hours, which is the average that we find, could be more, but that's usually the average, you're wasting $22,000. Why? That's
Because, I was told I can do it myself
so
and I can figure this out, and it's just posting on social
cheaper if
media.
I
But
do it myself, but is it? Because $22,000 sounds a lot like a 7-day vacation to me, rather than you suffering and trying to do this yourself when you're not really doing it yourself because you forget to post on social media. You're too busy to post on social media. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to put a social media strategy together. You don't even know what marketing is. You don't know what your brand voice is. So really, you're just running in circles all week long and you're not getting nothing accomplished. Make it make sense.
I mean, the money talks. The money talks. Okay, I want to go back to you. You had to shout out moms again. Shout out to moms. Now, you mentioned growing up, what you saw. How do you think that more, I don't want to say better influenced you because you made it clear that you saw mom being strong, so it helps you to step into it. Do you think that because she was able to stand firm in all her power and be able to encourage you and speak life into you, that that's what made you focus on women? Or was it just like, no, that just made Christina the person strong and it just so happened to?
Um, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it definitely helped pave the path for me. Um, but I still think I made a conscious decision to say, "Hey, I really enjoy working with women. I want to help other women, um, find their voice in a sense and, pave their own way and, be strong enough to hit that $1,000,000 and kind of break that curse or break that statistic."
Ooh, okay, wait. I didn't know your goal was to help them to get to $1,000,000. This is your goal?
Isn't that everybody's goal? Hello?
No.
Why do you only wanna make, like, $1,200 a month?
I
Hello?
can answer this question. Okay, the reason why is because I've learned, because we just talked about this on the podcast last week, where people, in theory, yes. And this is why we always like to ask about like that childhood link with money and how you perceive it. Because we've learned, I think, was it that we were talking about it, that yes, everybody wants to make $1,000,000, but they don't realize the amount of work that it takes to do it,
Mhm,
and they don't understand, like, if I make 1,000,000, I may have to spend 750, and the thought of having to spend $750,000 for people
it's a
is
month.
a lot. It can be overwhelming, especially if you didn't grow up around a lot of money or you're not in the right circles. So in your case, hey, I'm trying to amplify you from 100, 150, 200 to a 5x number to get into 1,000,000. What are some of the maybe mindset challenges around finances and money that you've seen in helping those clients? Because I know that you're telling them, hey, you're going to have to invest in this new website or this new photo shoot or a new wardrobe, or we got to completely redo the SEO or whatever. So go into that for us, because I'm sure what you see from your perspective in marketing is probably a lot different than what we see on the CFO side.
Yeah, yeah. To start with, I'm always out upfront with people. I tell people, look, I'm from New York. I tell it like it is. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, go to somebody else. Um, I'm not here to like baby you or tell you the answers you want to hear. Um, some people tell me I'm a little harsh, but I will tell you, like, look, you want to make $1,000,000. If you want to make $1,000,000, you realistically have to gross 5 million. And I think that's something that people don't understand. Like,
Mm.
you ain't, this is a whole nother subject, but like people think that since you grossed $1,000,000, you made $1,000,000.
Now, this is the perfect subject. Talk about it. Preach to them.
And I just people do not understand, "Oh, I made my business made $1,000,000." And I'm like, "No, because you had to invest in a branding photo shoot that you argued with me about for 3 weeks, and it was only $750, and you wanna cry about it. And then you argued with me about updating your website and your SEO. You wanna argue with me about everything because you're more worried about paying yourself than you are about scaling your business." People
Mm.
are so worried about paying themselves rather than scaling their business, and since they get caught up in that, they will never be able to pay themselves $1,000,000 because they will
Mm.
never be able to scale past where they're at. So that's why people always get caught up in this tiny little bubble, and they aren't able to expand into this, multi-million dollar business that they envision. It's not because of any um lack of knowledge, or they aren't good enough, or they're stuck in this generational curse or anything like that. It's literally just their mindset. You have to spend money to make money.
Facts.
Do you think I like throwing money out the window? Do you think, I like to pay my CFO, my COO, and all of my employees and all of my, systems that I have to pay for? Nobody likes spending money. But I know that I have to invest into my business in order to make it grow. Is my salary where I want it to be? Hell no. But I understand, in order for my business to become that multi-million dollar agency that I aspire it to be, I need to keep investing more and more and more money. And I think that's where the money mind block comes. So when people are working with me, it is a constant battle. I'm like, "Okay, let's take it a step back here. Let's work on that thought process here." I'm like, "If you If you want to really grow to that point, here's why I need you to invest in that branding photo shoot, or, here's why we need to change your retainer, or here's why you need to update that website. And a lot of times, if I give them a visual roadmap or we really break down the money aspect for them, it kind of
Mhm.
helps remove that block. And they're like, oh, okay. So it's a constant, like, positive reinforcement. A lot of people just have this block in their head. They get really scared to spend this money because we're afraid to run out of money, which is a natural thing, especially in today's world with how damn expensive everything is. It's this constant fear of running out of money. And so it's always a reinforcement of it's going to be okay. Here's our plan. Constantly writing things down, talking things out, and understanding where they're coming from. And that's where I come in. We're going to do this. You're good enough to do this. You're amazing. Here's how we're going to get through it. And here's our end game.
Okay. You said a lot right there. Okay, you talked about mindset. I want to go here. If this is too touchy, you tell me like, skip it. Now, in working with women, of
Mhm,
course, I'm sure there's even subcategories of that, like as it is with any niche. Like we work with agencies, there's SEO, PPC, website,
mhm,
etc. Have you seen a difference in mindset between, let's say, minorities, right? So Hispanic ladies, African Americans versus the white community, because some people will argue that it's even harder. And I mean, you're a lady, so you can speak on it more than I can, but
mhm,
that it's even harder if you're a minority because of those different things that they may have had to go through versus on average, or at least stereotypically, for the white counterpart, hey, if you had two-parent household, that's a certain advantage. If you grew up with money, that's a certain advantage. Whereas if Cameron was raised by a single mom, well, not Cameron,
mhm.
let me use my wife. If Ariane was raised by a single mom, there's a certain challenge she has to overcome because whatever that may be. So have you seen that difference in maybe the mindset issues and challenges in regards to money for the minority? Or does this not exist and we're just making it up?
No, absolutely. There's definitely different stories that go behind every woman. And what I tell them is you hold the pen right now. So we're going to rewrite your story. You are in control right now. It doesn't matter what happened, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. You are in control now. If you were raised in a single parent home, or, maybe you were, less privileged when you were growing up, none of that matters now. We need to take that out of your head because we're going to rewrite this whole ending of your story. You are going to, if you have children now, it's going to be a two-parent home if that's what you want. You are going to have money flowing endlessly if that's what you want. So I try and tell people not to fixate themselves on the negative or on the past, and we focus on the positive and on the future.
So, see, you having to get into some psychology, some money minds. It's not just branding only. Let's redo websites and marketing and pictures and your wardrobe. We got to address all of it because I may need to ask you, for 10 grand to redo this website so it can really be on point.
Right. And a lot of this stuff, like, if you're not in your right mindset, that reflects in your marketing and in your branding. If
Whoa,
you're
wait,
not
whoa,
confident,
whoa, hold up. If you're not in the right mind, I've never heard this one. If you're not in the right mindset, that can affect how your branding comes across. Break it down for us.
yeah, so if, you're not confident in yourself, people can pick that up in your branding and in your marketing. If you're not sure if something should be priced at, let's say you're a coach and your coaching package is $10,000, then your audience ain't sure it should be priced at $10,000 either. If you're going through, some stuff, some personal stuff, and, you're kind of wishy-washy, and that aura radiates through your posts, through your marketing. A lot of people don't realize it, but your audience can pick up on your emotions. So when you're unsure, or if you're not confident, or if you're upset, or if you're this way and then this way and then up and then down, we can feel that. So we need to dig down deep and figure all of this out that's going on up here before you start talking to your audience. Because if you start spilling out the mouth and it don't make no sense, nothing good is going to happen. You could have, the best offers, the best intentions behind it, but if you have some healing to do in here, n- it's not going to happen, because that aura and that energy, people feel it. People are very sensitive to it. People will feel it. So I gotta fix you. We gotta heal that before we go into the marketing and branding.
Mm, mm. See, I told y'all it's deeper.
Mhm.
Like I,
It's deep,
I
deep
think it's
shit.
funny that you say that because it's like people don't understand. They just think, oh, well, I just hire you and I make my money. I just pay for this course and I start making money. And to your point, no, we have to undo some bad habits and some bad thought patterns. Because I remember even in talking to a client, they were like, "Can I?" I think it was hiring somebody, and I'm like, "Yeah, why don't you think you can?" Well, that's going to be expensive. I'm like, "You got 40 or $50,000 in the bank." I'm like, "This isn't 2 years ago when you first started with me, and you only had like 3K. You got like 41,000 right now. So yes, you can." And he was like, "That's a great point. I guess I just been just so focused on work, and I never really thought like, oh, I actually have evolved past that." So that is so key. That what you said. Shout out to moms. Moms did some great work here. Okay, we're gonna shout out.
I know, didn't she? Love you, mom.
Okay, let's keep it rolling. So now you mentioned earlier that you have your own internal team. So how big have you grown
Mhm.
your team? Like, what's the size of it currently? Because
We are up to 11
okay,
right
okay.
now.
So you got 11 people. So how are you finding that as you continue to grow your own company, are you having problems with scaling, or what are kind of those things like as you're on your road to the $1 million mark?
Whoo, Lord child, it has been quite the process. It's definitely not easy growing your own team. You don't know what you don't know, is what I'm gonna say. You definitely need to have your systems in
Mhm.
place, and they need to be, like, locked and loaded, um, which is why I have my COO, God bless her, because if I didn't have her, this whole ship would fall apart. Um, but growing a team has been an amazing experience. You cannot scale without a team, because you cannot do this yourself. Look, I tried. Take it from me. You are not taking on all these clients, doing all this work, and sending out good deliverables. It's
You're
just
not
not
gonna
going to
do
happen. There's no way. It's not. The client work is going to suffer. Your clients are going to be, can I swear on here? Your clients are going to be mad with you. They're not going to, it's just not going to work. You have to have a plan in place to grow a team, which circles back into, you got to spend
gotta
money.
spend it.
You gotta spend, there's no way around this. Whether you're investing in branding, photos, a website, or a team, you have to. And this was the first thing on my list. My COO and my CFO looked at me and said, "You've got 80 million other things on your plate. You need to have an assistant or like a VA. You need a social media manager. You need people on your team that can take all of this off your plate so you can actually practice as a CEO." And I said, "Say less. If I can afford it, do whatever you need to do, take it off my plate. Say
Okay.
less." So you really need to do whatever you can. Make sure your systems are in place. Do not bring people into your shit show. Make sure that you have people or systems in place before you start bringing people on board. That means you have an onboarding process, people know how things work, you have SOPs, that kind of thing. Don't just bring people on board and be like, "Here you go." But having a team behind you is going to be absolutely imperative for your growth. You need support behind you. You cannot do this all by yourself.
Okay. So now you told us that for you, your C suite team is important. At what level? Because I think this is a conflict for a lot of people, right? Oh, no, I can just figure out my own SOPs and systems, which you can. But what was that final, I don't know if you want to say switch that made you say, okay, I need a CFO. I need a COO. Could I keep figuring this stuff out? Sure, I'm smart. But what was the thing that made you say, was it like when you hit a certain amount of revenue, you said, I am now going to invest in that over maybe a team member? Like, what was that mindset there? Because I'm sure some of our listeners are like, I feel what she's saying, but I don't know when do I make that step.
Yeah, so with my CFO, it was when I started, I was roughly, I think, about 5 figures. Before that, I had just like a regular local bookkeeper that kind of just, did some basic, very basic bookkeeping to make sure I had my stuff straight. Um, but when I realized I really needed help, like I didn't know where, you know, what percentage I should be keeping if I wanted to hire people, like if I should open other bank accounts, where I should be investing. Like when I started having questions like that, I was like, this is not my, zone of genius. Like when it comes to money and like all I know is that I love to spend money. That's it, period. That's all I know what to do with it. That's when I decided to go get a CFO because I know that she will take me to where I need to be money wise. She will be able to tell me, she or he will be able to tell me what money needs to go in what account, who I can afford to hire, where my money needs to be invested. And if I'm in trouble, like, hey, I don't know why you're going to Starbucks, and this is an actual conversation. I don't know why you're spending this money at Starbucks all the time. She watches my accounts like a hawk, even my personal account. She's like, I don't I don't know what you're doing, but you have a serious problem. So yeah, that's when I decided I need a CFO. She is all up in my business. She really is.
Oh,
And she knows I
Starbucks.
have a problem
Dang.
with
Why she have bring
it's always
Starbucks
Starbucks
into
that's
it though?
I know. I said Starbucks ain't did nothing
No,
to you.
Starbucks ain't do nothing to you.
Nothing.
Okay, now let's go here. So this same CFO, so it sounds like you got a good one, somebody who's actively invested in you. What are some of the cool things that they may be suggesting, or maybe one cool strategy that they gave you that you were like, man, that really helped me to understand and do fill in the blank?
Oh, there's so many. My favorites. I think it's the way that she structured my different
Yeah.
accounts. When I first started, I just had like my regular checking account and then a
Hmm.
savings account. Right now, I have an account for my employees slash contractors. I have my regular checkings account. I have an account with my, the money that I pay myself. I have an investing account. Like she's got,
You got it
and she
good.
manages them all. She knows what goes where. Like I'm like, whatever. It just you do you. She's transferring this to here and this to there, and I've got money piling up here, and she's investing this. Like just, I'm like, okay, bet, perfect. The way that she has everything organized, and I know that when clients pay me, everything is just pulled out of the retainer and put into each account perfectly. Like, the percentages are pulled out of that retainer perfectly and put into each account perfectly. It just chef's kiss. If that were me, I would still be staring at this computer screen. saying, "I don't know what to do." I would be Googling it, honestly. Like, how do I separate this into my accounts?
Really?
So she took that stress off of me completely. I really, like, money is not my thing. I just wouldn't know what to do. It would be sitting all in one account, and I would just be
There
winging
you
it.
go. Okay. Okay. Best investment that's produced the best ROI for you is what?
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
mm, there's a lot, though. I
Pick your top
mean,
two. Top two. Like, I bought this and it
hmm,
propelled me by doing fill in the blank.
this is gonna sound a little pretentious, but, my nanny,
What's wrong with
mm,
that?
I always just feel like it makes me sound pretentious, but I know. I have 2 kids. If you have kids, hire help because I tried doing this myself, and the amount of work I got done was 0, none, zilch, nothing. And when I brought on this nanny, help, babysitter, whatever you wanna classify it, they help with light chores around the house, my kids aren't up my butt, and my work went through the roof, which means my clients were happier, which means I brought on more clients, which means I brought in more money to the agency. Perfect, right? Amazing. Um, my second one, I would say it's a tie between my COO and CFO. I mean, I kinda already explained my CFO. And my COO, she completely set up the back end of the KP Collective, so my client experience, my SOPs, she restructured all her packages, she helped me reprice everything. She is like my saving grace. She is just like my CFO, those 2 are like the backbone of the collective.
Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. So the nanny to help keep those daily tasks off so you can get focused on making the coins. And then that's your C suite because they're giving you that extra help in the areas that you know you need so you can give your best to the clients. I
Right.
feel that. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's go here because you just brought them up. So you got the kids, 2 of them. Now, I know being a mom is already a hard job. And then trying to make your own business. And then not just having a business that makes 6 figures, but multiple 6 figures on the way, if not already, on the way to 7 figures. Now, how is it balancing being a mom and still having time for the business? Because we know it's only 24 hours in a day.
It's not easy, and, somebody made a comment to me the other day, and they said, you balance it so flawlessly," and I said, "Girl, no, I don't." And I don't ever want people to look at my Facebook page or any of my social media and compare themselves to me and say, "Man, I wish I was a better mom," or "I wish I was a mom like KP." Please do not compare yourself to me, because I am a hot
Hey,
mess. My kids ate leftover mac and cheese last night. That was their dinner. Easy Mac. The Easy Mac and steamed broccoli. That was it. That was their dinner. I am not a golden mom at all. I do the best I can. It's hard. It is really hard. A lot of times I am being a mom when I quote unquote should be working. Um, there's times I pass up work or clients because I know it'll interfere with me being a mom. Um, there are clients that I can kind of sense aren't okay with the fact that I have children. They're the type of clients that are very, very needy. Um, and they just don't understand why I don't put work ahead of everybody. Um, and I don't work with those type of people, and I used to, and I'm just like, "You know what? My kids will always come before work, and at the end of the day, I might miss a phone call, I might miss an email, I might be a little late to a meeting, but I try my best. And that's all I can do, you know? I might be a little late. I even have a t-shirt that somebody made that says, "I'm sorry I'm late, I have kids." Um
I feel like that's every parent. It's like once you get past two,
Like, I'm
yeah, once
trying.
you get past two, like, look, I'm gonna be there. It's just a matter of am I gonna be there on time or 5 to 10 minutes late.
And I just try, like, important school events, I try I'm gonna be, like, I'm not gonna miss it. I'm gonna be there. It doesn't matter if, somebody comes to me and says, "I have $1,000,000 deal for you." I don't care. My kid has a school play. I'm going to the school play, you know? And that means a lot of nights after bedtime, I tuck them all in, and then I'm back on my laptop working until
Yeah,
midnight.
what I feel like,
It's a
what's
lot of
it?
sacrifice.
Carrie, she was saying there's this thing like mom guilt. Is that what you guys call it? Where it's like, I want to give my best to the kids, but I'm trying to work. And you try to go after all these opportunities, and there's a different expectation for mom to nurture and come in and do certain things that maybe dad doesn't have to experience or fully understand. So I definitely try to always shout out the moms, let them tell that because I think that's a powerful story to share with other moms. Because to your point, everybody's not as blessed as you to be able to have the nanny for that extra support, or whether it's mom or grandma or whoever. So I think it's always super important to come on and share. Hey, it's all right, sis. Like you just do the best you can do every day, and you'll get better. Okay, let's go there. So, okay, that's them. Tell us something that you do to connect with the kids and Bay during the week. Like, is there like, oh, every Friday's pizza day? Like in our house, Saturdays is pancake day, for example. Do you guys have something that you look forward
Oh,
to?
so we're Italian, so Sunday is Sunday dinner. So it's spaghetti sauce or like
Okay,
lasagna.
okay.
And my son loves to be in the kitchen, so he's helping me like roll meatballs or he's dumping the spaghetti into the water. Um, Kind of think of The Sopranos. It's very loud in the house. Um, especially, if I'm at my parents' house and my parents are at my house and we're all cooking and we're drinking wine and having fun. Um, we make homemade Italian bread. Like it's just, a Sunday traditional Italian dinner and my kids love it. It's something that I grew up with. He has his own little Spider-Man apron that my mother-in-law
Crazy.
made him and it's just about messy in the kitchen and I don't work. We cook after church. That's the other thing we do on Sunday. We go to church whether the kids like it or not. Um, and we come home, make Sunday dinner, and it's just a day for us to spend time
There you go.
together.
Okay, now what about Bay? Because I know I have learned Bay got to get their time, and that is not the same as family time. So, how are you guys staying
No, it's
connected, keeping that love fire going so that way it's not just, yeah, we're super successful making all this money, but the marriage is in the shambles?
it's hard. It really is hard, and I feel like it's even more hard because he travels a lot for work. So my schedule is over here, his schedule is over here, plus we got the kids
Yeah.
in the middle. Um, so our time is usually after the kids go to bed. Um, we binge watch shows. So we pick a snack. Our big thing every night is we either watch Prison Break or American Horror Story. Those are our two
American
our two
Horror
shows.
Story is rough. They be doing some crazy. It's so,
I know, but it's so
okay.
good. It's so
It's only so
good.
many episodes of that, though. Or that's the current two shows. I got you.
The
I got you.
current 2
Okay.
shows that
Okay.
we're
I
watching.
love it.
And and we go to bed, and we relax and we got our bowl of popcorn or a snack, whatever we chose to munch on, and we don't talk about work, but we talk about, what's going on. Like, "Do you got anything you wanna talk about? Are you good? Are you good?" And we reconnect that way on the daily. As for date nights, usually once or twice. a month, the kids tuck and roll out of the car to the grandparents' house. We don't even stop at the driveway. We're like, "All right, kids, you ready? Unbuckle, tuck and roll, shoo them into." No, I'm just kidding. Um, we usually we usually drop them off once or twice a week to my parents' house. My parents don't live far from us, like 5 minutes literally. Um, and we pick a restaurant. Usually my husband picks a restaurant because I'm very much like one of those TikToks that are, "I don't care, where do you wanna eat? I don't know, where do you wanna eat?" I'm very
I
much that.
think that's just like
So
overall. I feel like my wife
it
does the
really
same thing. I'm
is.
like, just tell me what you well, you know what do you have a taste for? I'm like, well, I'm open. Well, I'm open too. Okay, well, you want to do like soul food? No, I don't want that. What?
Mm. You just
Right.
so
Like,
it is very much me. And we'll do, like, dinner and a movie or something like that, but on the daily, we really try to, connect at night. Night is our time when the kids are asleep and we're not constantly being interrupted.
okay. Okay. I feel it. Same here. All right. Now let's go rapid fire. This is more the reflective part. Now, if you could go back in time, knowing everything you know as of today, you got like 5 minutes, but you only got 5 minutes. You really got like 4 minutes and 30 seconds because you
Woo!
are nervous and you're in shock that you can go back in time. What would you tell your high school self and college self knowing everything you know now?
Um, I would tell myself that the girls are being mean to you, amount to nothing, don't listen to them. Be yourself, be confident in yourself. College was a waste of time, don't spend your money. Um, and don't look at me like that. That's a whole nother topic of discussion. Um, things will work out for the better. You're smarter than you think you are. Um, don't be afraid of change. Change is good. Step outside of the box. Your purpose is greater than you could ever imagine. Um, gosh, there's like so much because I turned out to be something completely opposite than I thought I
Yeah, that's a
would.
good thing, right?
Um, it is. High school was not the greatest days of your life, no matter what people tell you. It just was. That saying is just not true. Um,
I mean, that's
hmm.
fine. That was a lot of good stuff right there. But see, now I
Oh,
want to
that was
go
a lot of
back
good
though.
stuff.
College. I gotta go there real quick. So, would you say being in marketing and knowing all the tips, tricks you learned, all the strategies, do you think that college for this new up and coming entrepreneur will even be worth it if they're going to be in the marketing space?
Um, I'm not going to downplay a college degree. If you can do it and you can afford to go to college, do it. I think it's amazing. I didn't go to college because I couldn't afford it. I have a vocational nursing degree, so I practice as a licensed practical nurse back home in New York. Um, I landed in marketing by happenstance when I left nursing during COVID, but I had too many student loans to even think about going back to college for marketing. I couldn't afford it. So I took it upon myself to learn about marketing. I read a lot of books. I know people are probably going to fall out of their chairs, but I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I took a lot of courses. I took some courses through the University of Illinois. I took some through Cornell, like certificate courses. So I did a lot of the learning myself. So I don't have a college degree. I don't think you need a college degree. You need the discipline and drive. You don't necessarily need a fancy college degree just to live out your passion, purpose, in your
I
dream.
like it because you still invested in learning. It just wasn't the traditional route, but you still took it serious. I love it. Okay, back to rapid fire. Sorry, we got distracted because I thought that was so good. How has your definition of success changed from like when you first started versus now?
Success I initially thought was having a bunch of money in the bank, designer bags, designer clothes, expensive
And she got
cars.
some sauce here. I don't know if
Um,
y'all seen her pictures, but now she got the drip. Now she got the curls be on point. You know, she be having the blazers that match the glasses. Like she don't play with the drips. I just want to throw that out there for people who don't know. Keep going.
um, Now to me, success looks like my kids going to the best schools, in the state. Um, I have a nanny that can help me. I have an amazing team behind me. Um, I get regular hair appointments now to help my curls. I'm not stressed about my time as much anymore. I have, like I said, help behind me. Um, I'm able to help my parents whenever they need help. My mom, has had some health issues recently, and I'm able to be there and help her whenever she needs it. We're able to fly home to my in laws as often as we need to. I just have more freedom. Success to me now is just freedom. I don't care about designer this, designer that, or driving fancy, luxury, expensive cars. I drive a new Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's not fancy, it's not luxury. I don't give a damn about luxury. I want practical, I want freedom, and I just want to be me.
I feel it. Okay. What has being a business owner taught you about who Christina the person is?
One, I am impulsive as hell. Sometimes I don't think things through very clearly. But I also think that it taught me that I am a lot stronger and smarter than I really thought I was. And I think this ties through back to the whole college thing. Um, I, in high school, I thought I was going to be a neurosurgeon in high school. And then when I applied to all these schools and I didn't get in, I thought that was the end of my life. But now I realize that those roadblocks were just God setting me up for something bigger. And that something bigger was me owning one of the best marketing agencies in Charlotte. Um, and I now have 8 awards behind me, and I have a seven-figure agency. And now that I even say that, it still gives me goosebumps that I was a lot smarter than I ever intended my or even thought I could be. And now I'm a lot more confident than I thought I could be. Entrepreneurship, like, gave me that burst of confidence and intelligence, um, that I never thought I would have.
Okay, there you go. All right. Well, this was fun. Um, I'm thankful you're here, but this is your time right here to tell the people again if they want to get in touch with you. Like, what socials are you on? Is there a website? Do you have a lead magnet? And how can they get that from you? Who do you help? What's the specific niche? So they may be listening to say, you know what? Maybe I'm an agency or maybe I'm a sales coach or in coaching. I need somebody like her. I love her style. I love her authenticity. So how can they get in touch with you? This is your time to let the people know how they can join the KP Collective.
Yeah, for sure. So all across social media, we are at the KP Collective. That is collective with a K. You can download our marketing action plan ebook on our website by subscribing to our email list. It is a free download. So as soon as you subscribe, you'll get a link to download our ebook. Again, we help B2B organizations. So that is like our female coaches, any female owned businesses, women owned businesses. So we help elevate your profitability through targeted, done for you brand and marketing narratives. Again, that is done for you so then you can practice on your zone of genius and we take the load off of you. Um, so you can connect with me on my personal profile. It's Kristina Peck, Kristina with a K, hence the KP Collective, collective with a K. Feel free to DM me on there, or you can hit me up on social media. I'm available. 24/7 almost. I'm looking forward to connecting with all of you guys, and I look forward to working with you in the future, and I appreciate y'all for having me.
There we go. All right, so you heard it. You need to join a collective. You see that she's serious. She's not there to just collect your money and throw you in the trash. Like, no, she's serious about helping you holistically. Let's get that mindset the right way. You see that it's a generational thing. The hustle that she has passed on from mom, and she's trying to put her best into each individual client. So you guys check her out. I think I got right here. You got this lead magnet sign up and some case studies. So we'll make sure to drop those links as well. But we are so thankful to have you here. This was fun. We added a little Italian spice to the show. So I love that we get to include some of everybody on. Any last words you want to tell the people?
You are stronger than you think you are. You've got this. Stand tall, walk through that door confidently, and you're going to be a seven-figure business
There
before
you
you know it.
go. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I told y'all for season 2, we bring in the heat. We're going to find the best talent, the best business owners, the guys, the ladies that are out here helping others, saving lives, and they just so happen to be getting paid a great amount to do it. But these are the people we want to bring on, people who are already doing this at a high level, that already has over 10 team members that know what it's like to invest not only back into their business, but into others so that they can thrive as well as their clients. So we're excited to keep bringing you guys top guests. Kristina, thank you again for coming. And until the next episode, you guys take care of yourselves and stay safe. Peace.